say, for example, me, I'm still awake, or I'm still struggling to catch my sleep, and for you, you're snoring like a generator. Now that's where the problem will be. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, Stesh is my name, and I really do appreciate you for being patient with me and seeing the channel growing. I've been away for a while. One, because I was trying to figure out the direction in which I want my YouTube channel to go. As the channel that's called Modern Millennial, I really like to address issues that are concerning all modern millennials, what we face every day, relationships, finance, life in general. I'm trying to navigate this thing called life, and the purpose of this channel is to learn from each other, to teach, but also to learn from each other. So my voice has been gone for the past, I would say 1.5 weeks. So I was not able to record anything, and as you can hear, it's still a bit hoarse. So I decided to sit with a glass of water. So you'll bear with me if I have to drink in between words, but I really appreciate it that I'm able to speak to you once again, to be alive right here, to talk to you guys. This is really exciting and amazing, and I can't wait to dive right in. So today's topic, again, being the month of September, on my Instagram, I encouraged people to do some Speak Life September, Self-Care September, because of course so much has been going on through the year. I've fallen sick quite a lot this year. I've been challenged health-wise, but I'm also really grateful that through that I've been able to learn how to pay more attention to my body, to see what's going on. I've gotten a lot of flu and cough, malaria in the beginning of the year, cannulas and whatnot. It's not a good feeling, but I'm glad to be alive and back. Anywho, so this is not to be self-criticizing, but I was sitting down, thinking about life, thinking about my life in general and where it is that I want to go as a person. And I figured that it's one thing to speak life into your life and situations and all that without noticing what has been dead, where has it been dead, and what can I change. So in light of that, in light of Self-Care September, in light of Speak Life September, these are some of the things that I would like to change about myself as a person. Maybe they are not the worst of things, but they are definitely things that I could actually improve on in my life. So without further ado, let's dive right in. In fact, before diving into the things that I believe that I would like to change about myself, let me just take a beautiful moment to appreciate me as a person, who I am as a person. I find that I'm a very beautiful soul, that's one thing I know, but also I am a very kind-hearted person. These are things that people have come telling me along the way, and I don't want to sound like, oh my gosh, like I'm being those people, but I really want to appreciate myself for how resilient I am as a person. There are blows that I have received in my life, and I could swear to you, if you would have told me many years ago that you're going to go through this, you're going to experience this, I would be like, you know what, I want none of that. But because God knows who I am as a person, He has taken me through by the hand. My theme for this year was, He's going to hold me by the hand. It won't be easy, but He will hold me by the hand through it all. And He has done exactly that. He has taught me, He has led me. And I want to appreciate myself in that regard for not giving up on life, because there are many times where I felt like, no, where am I dying? Imagine, where am I dying? Who is paying me to suffer? But I also noticed that I'm a very easy person to work with, especially if I like what I'm doing. I like to be punctual, I like to be communicative, whether it be in relationships, whether it be with family, whether it be with a team of people that I'm working with. I find that I'm very communicative and resourceful. If something is not working, I find a solution to what's working. That's with regards to work and general life. When it comes to relationships, I'm a very appreciative person. I really like to appreciate people, and I like to voice it out that, you know what, you have been a blessing in my life, and I appreciate you. Guys, if you hear a baby crying, my neighbor has a child, and the child is really young, so she often cries her lungs out, and I hope they don't hear me, but yeah. And it's okay, man, that's part of life. Anyway, so I really appreciate my ability to understand people. Of course, sometimes that can come with the downside of the fact that you seem to be super understanding, so people take that for granted. But hold it right there. For me to be understanding means that I can understand where you're at, but I can still know that I'm not going to engage with you further just because you're in that position. Especially if I've communicated about certain things, how I like to be treated, how I like to be loved, the boundaries I love set, and you just can't get the gist of it. I'll appreciate you as a friend, but I might need to let you go. So I like to have honest conversations. I like to grow the people that I'm with. Like, I just don't want to meet you today and you're the same person, and still 10 years later or 5 years later or a year later or 2 years later, you've not learned anything from me. You've not grown as a person, yet I've been in your life. I've not led you to Christ if you don't know Christ. I have not, shared with you a meal. Then what's the whole point? Yeah. So I believe that I'm a very lovely person, and if someone gives it time, we can actually have the best time in our lives. Some people say I'm funny. I don't know how. I've not seen that knack in myself, but I just really like to have a good time. I know how to have a good time. So guys, if you're not in my life, it's your loss. And yes, I also feel like I show up for people. Monetarily, it might not be the situation because I'm trying to grow my finances. So I'm not going to be out here giving away money that I don't even have. I would so much like to do that, say for wedding contributions, birthdays, and all those parties. But you realize in a year, you might have to celebrate one individual 10 times. Birthday party, engagement, wedding shower, Kwanjula shower, Kuchala shower, baby shower. Yo, whose money is that? Whose money is that? But anywho, now, those are the many things that I like about myself, and I'm very jolly as a person. Sometimes I'm like, yo, you're just a vibe, like you are whole vibe. No one can tell me otherwise. But anyway, so that's the part of me that I appreciate, and I will be able to do maybe another video about that. But today I'm basically looking at the things in my life that I can do better at. So I'm going to borrow the mantra of I'm a 10 but. So if we're saying that there are people who are 10 out of 10, I believe I'm a 10 out of 10, but it does not mean that there are things I cannot improve. I am a 10, but I'm afraid of my potential. Guys, hear me out. It's one thing to be in a world where you have constantly tried this, try that, and eventually you figure it out. So at some point you think, okay, maybe that's how life should be, that every single time I'm going to try out something, it will work out, and I'll go to the next and the next. So for the one time when you do something and it doesn't work out immediately, that can be a bummer for you. So for me, I think that happened when I got my first HR job, and okay, I had experienced other failures in life or some L's in life, but this one hit me so hard because I felt like, you know what, I was giving it my very best. I was doing the job so well. I was learning on the job. I was giving everything my all. I was working late hours. Lo and behold, your girl had to leave the job. But in that, I feel like because the trauma that I got from that job, I have been afraid of getting back into employment for a really long time. Yes, employment might seem like, you're going to be this, you're going to be put in a box. There is that part where sometimes I feel like I'm suffocating being employed under someone, maybe because as a creative, sometimes our creative juices are more active in the night as opposed to during the day, yet work has to be done during the day. So then that brings me to the fact that, of course, the experience I got with my previous, that opportunity made me worry that what if I get a job like this again? Will I be able to do it well? Will I handle it? Will I succeed at it? Will I be the best maybe person people associate that I can never be? So it has kind of stifled my progress in many things that I worry sometimes that, okay, maybe I have done this, but then I start second guessing. Sometimes before I put up my YouTube videos, I'm so scared, but then I'm like, do it scared than not doing it at all. So yes, I feel like I would be able to improve my ability to keep going and to go for things and not let one bad experience or a few bad experiences shape my truth, because that's not my truth. I'm not a failure. I can make a very good human resource manager. I have patience with people. I do. When I did it as a course unit, I really enjoyed it as a course. when I was doing a professional course. So I feel like that's something that I can continuously do if I decided to put my mind to it and I grow into it, and even go back to school and, you know, major in that kind of line, you know. So yes, that's one of the things I believe I could change about me. Point number 2, I'm a 10 but I need constant reassurance sometimes in relationships. Hear me out. I'm a person who has grown up very independent, very macho. Like, I do this, I do that, like without, you know, having to seek many people's. Okay, of course, along the way, you would like maybe have an idea and talk to someone. Oh, I want to do this and this. What do you think about that? But then that means that sometimes that has affected the ways in which I do stuff because of that need of constant reassurance. In relationships especially. Maybe because I've not really been in a relationship whereby I felt, you know, I felt seen, I felt understood. That's why sometimes I'm like, is this guy really about me, or he's just doing me a favor by staying? But for starters, ain't nobody doing no one a favor, because 1, I'm a crutch, but 2, we are 2 consenting adults. If we've decided to be in a relationship, it's because it's something that has potential to work, not because someone else is doing you a favor. And that's why I have been in a bit of toxic relationships, because they were not toxic that the person was beating me or insulting me. But you know, in relationships where someone is not sure about you, even when they keep saying you're a great person and I like you so much as a person, they're just not sure about you. Then the question is, why are you staying in a relationship whereby someone is not sure about you, you know? It's because I've constantly had the thing of, maybe if I work hard for this love, maybe if I work hard for this, you know, relationship, if I put in my all, actually I will feel like I'm worthy of the relationship. But come on, seriously? 1, I'm already loved by God, who does not need me to act up or do things to earn his love. Like, why then should a human being lead me to think that I have to work so hard for the love? And it's not on them, it's on me. It's my fault for believing that I have to, okay, it's not my fault, but it's on me to think that I actually have to constantly work so hard, times 10 hard, for the love that should come in easy. So what I've decided to do in that regard is to try and gradually change the mentality of love is for, you know, yes, love requires work, relationships take work. Any relationship, whether it be family, friendships and whatnot, they require work, they require intention and input, but not kukazana, like, you know, hustling just to get this person's attention, trying to do the most, giving your best, and the person is not reciprocating just because you think that for you to be loved, you actually have to hustle that much. No, we are not doing that. This is a new year and we are improving. We are not doing that no more. Next, on to my 3rd point. I'm a 10, but I have money anxiety. I know this is not like something you can pin on someone, that you have money anxiety because of reason A, B, C, and D, but it's, well, when I say that I grew up in a pretty decent home, and I'm grateful to be that I was able to access at least all the basic needs of life. So that's the kind of life that I grew up in. So it's not like I had never seen money, so when I got money, it means that now I have anxiety. It's just that when I grew up, of course, you know, being raised by a single parent, she was very clear on when you would ask for things randomly and you imagine that, oh, just because I'm a last born, I'm going to get this, or just because my shoes are lost, I'm just constantly going to be getting money for things or just things. She was very keen to tell you that, no, there is no money now, but when I get money, I'll do this and that, you know. So I think that's a thing I kept on hearing in my life, and many people get to hear this a lot. Oh, there is no money, there is no money. It sounds like a small thing, but it plants that seed of scarcity in someone's mind, you know. And of course, as our parents, they just didn't want us to get used to money to the point that we are now entitled to getting resources and other people's money just because we need certain things. But then it kept on ringing in my head that, you know, money always goes away. Money is never enough. When you need money, you won't have money. So it's a thing that I'm trying to heal from, because I know that for me to be able to make money and keep money and enjoy money and save money and invest in money, I need to know that money, the same way money comes, more will always come. You know, when you work for money, you'll get money, and it will help me change my mentality in the way I bill for my services at work, in the way that I see money when it comes to sharing and generosity. It will help me be able to like continuously, you know, return my tithe and offering as a Christian, to continuously honor my parent with my finances, like, you know, be able to share. That even when I get a partner, I don't want it to be a thing that stops me from being with someone, or because they don't have money. Of course, finances are important in any relationship, but I want to be able to handle it from a healthy perspective, as opposed to hoarding on money or being worried and getting anxiety when I don't have money, you know, because there are more important things in life. Money makes the world, you know, go round, it makes life easy, but I don't want it to be something that, you know, holds me by the neck, you know. So I'm a 10, but I have, you know, anxiety for money. But that's something that I'm trying to work on, so that even when I save and I successfully save, it doesn't look like, oh, now I'm not stressed because I don't have money. I want to be able to still trust God when I have much and when I have little, when I have nothing and when I have everything. Well, so point number 4, I'm passionate about the people in my life and the people that I love, that it can end up feeling like I'm smothering people. I'm not proud of it. It's something that actually low-key breaks my heart, because when you're doing it, you're coming from a place of love, but it can end up sending away the people that you love in your life. Say, for example, in a previous relationship, we were very different people. Me, I'm a very fast-paced person. When I decide that I love what I'm doing, I'm going to be fast-paced. Like, I'm going to wake up, make a list, do my workouts, do this, do that. When I set goals, I want to see that I have actually achieved something towards these goals. So if for any reason I set goals with you, say you're my boyfriend and I set goals with you, and I feel like we are stalling on these goals, first of all, it comes from a place of impatience that, okay, if we set these goals in January, we are in July now, we've already gone through the half of the year, what have we done about these goals? It's a beautiful thing to be goal-oriented, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but then I feel like because we are different people in this life, and especially men, some people are very, you know, they're very easygoing, they're very slow at what they do, but they'll get it done. Yet for me, on the other hand, I feel like by the time we've set these goals, yes, wake up and pray, read the scripture, do your Bible study, do your workouts, go to work at 8, you say we wake up at 6, let's do that, you know. So of course sometimes I also fall off and slack, but for the biggest part, I want to know that I've covered all my bases. So if I feel like you're slacking, even on your own progress, for me that hurts me. Now in the way of like trying to help you, instead I'll find myself doing a supervisory role. Like, have you done this? Have you called this one? Have you done that? At first it seems nice because you're being caring, you're being, you know, concerned about someone's goals and their input, but after it feels, it's now borderline mothering someone, like it's smothering, like you become someone's mother literally. So I want to improve in that area, and for me, I'm trying to read about these things and seeing that, okay, just because you have been a very strong-handed person doing everything by your own, that leaves less room for vulnerability for you if you're always on top of things, always supervising everyone, always trying to catch up on this. And it gives me anxiety when I'm working with a team, for example, and I feel like they're slacking. And I think that's something that has also made me struggle when it comes to building a team in my businesses, because I feel like I don't want to have to mother anyone. I don't want to have to constantly call people, but that's what I do with service providers all the time. Imagine even when someone knows they're supposed to deliver something, I have to call them to confirm, are you ready? I'll call them an hour before, are you done? At what time? You know, that kind of thing. But I want to be able to improve on that, to understand that we are all different and we do things at a different pace. It doesn't make the other person a bad person if they do things at a slower pace than I. But because for me, I feel like it's attached to, if it's money, if the end goal is finances, If I do it slow, that means it's going to take me longer to get the money. Yet if I do it faster and I deliver on my job, that means I'll get the money faster. It doesn't make it any better, so I'm trying to improve in that trick. Point number 5. I'm at 10, but I actually do talk a lot. I talk more than an average person, I believe. And it's not a bad thing because there are ways, it can serve me and whatnot. And I don't know if it's something I would, not change per se, but I know that it's something that I'm learning how to regulate. That one, you don't have to talk all the time. You don't have to talk to everyone. You don't have to talk in every situation. Listening is better than talking because when you listen, you learn, as opposed to when you're talking. First of all, I speak very fast most of the time. And in that sense, it sounds, even me, sometimes I get tired. I'm like, man, you really didn't have to, And I think it's that thing of extroverts always feeling like you want to fill the silence gaps. You want to fill the silence gaps. And it's funny how I'm attracted to people that are super introverted. So you can see the difference. For me, I'm talkative. The person is, introverted and quiet. So that means half of the time you feel like, what are they thinking? Then you talk. I want to ask you something, then you talk. So when you come up with, say something, when you want to say something like, oh, hi babe, I think I want to talk to you about A, B, C, and D. They might not treat it with urgency because you're always talking. So to them, it's like, maybe it's one of those things that you're constantly talking about, So I feel like it's something that I'm learning to regulate. Quite a lot of changes are happening in my life. It's something I'm learning to regulate, that I don't have to talk all the time. I don't have to fill all the silence gaps just because I want to not feel awkward in the silence. So yeah, that one I don't think I want to expound on it so much. And for me, when I find someone who tells me, oh my gosh, you talk too much, in my head I'm like, girl, bye. You just don't have nothing to say. Or you're just not confident in who you are. That's why you think I talk too much. Of course, no one is allowed to feel like I'm too much, and if I'm too much, just walk away, boo-boo. Walk away. Just keep walking. Walk away, negative Nancy. Keep walking. But other than that, now I know how to pace myself, to listen, to talk, and then listen. Okay, how do you feel? What were you saying? Without interrupting. Even when, now I'm learning to not to listen just for the sake of talking back, but to listen to understand. Even when it's itching, like, I really want to say something, I would rather first wait it out and find out, okay, is that it? Okay, maybe A, B, C, and D, where I understand where you're coming from, and, something of that kind. I'm a 10, but I snore sometimes. So yes, first of all, this is nothing, it feels like a bad thing, but it's something that I low-key have no control over. And I know that many people who snore, sometimes you sleep in a bad sleeping position, and as long as you're comfortable, that means your chest, it's like you're cutting off enough air circulation for your lungs and your chest to expand, which now creates that, that groggy feeling, then you end up snoring, okay? So for me, my sister told me, my sister is my housemate, and she told me that, baby girl, most times you're quiet. If you're not playing your MP3 all through the night, you're quiet. But then these nights that you decide to snore, Jesus Christ, like chichi. I know, guys. It's a normal human occurrence, okay? It's a normal human occurrence. None of us is above that stuff. So I just try to... I think there are times when you actually snore so hard that you come out of your sleep and you feel that, was I snoring, kind of thing. But other than that, I honestly don't think it's a big deal. And I'm okay with a partner who snores. If we both snore and sleep at the same time, then I won't be super stressed about the fact that you snore because it's a competition, baby. Like, I don't care. But if, say, for example, me, I'm still awake, or I'm still struggling to catch my sleep, and for you, you're snoring like a generator, now that's where the problem will be. Other than that, that's something that many of us can't control. What I try to do, of course, is to sleep better in better angles. But for me, it's not that deep. snoring is a part of life, and once I sleep comfortably, maybe that I'm more of a money, but yes, I'm a 10, but I snore sometimes. So, and the beauty about, such things is until someone tells you, you walk with your head held high like me. Like, what you talking about? Me snore? So it's okay, really.